All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time zone or frame that you're in. Hopefully, y'all are having a great day. Stream is starting a little bit later than usual. I was just checking to see if I successfully signed up for some overtime at my job today, but apparently not. So that's cool. But yeah, today we are going to be going back to some more Rogue Genesia, and then we're going to be continuing on our pursuits in Persona for Golden. It's going to be, I was going to say it's probably going to be a bit of a shorter stream, but I tend to average about 3 to 4 hours in terms of streams. So it's probably going to be about normal. I'd say probably about a 3-hour stream, depending, because I do have some stuff to do later on today. I still think my counter is off a little bit, so I'm going to fix that now, but I think it's just by 1. There we go. That should be better. I think I ended up losing a follower the other day, so that's kind of unfortunate, but things do happen. I don't necessarily blame anyone. It's honestly, it seems like their account got deleted, so I don't know if that's like a spam or a bot account or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, without further ado, we're kind of going to jump into it. I've been playing a lot of Rogue Genesia offline. I've been having a really good time getting through and doing all of that stuff. So there's going to be quite a lot. I'm actually in the middle of a run now. The stream was a little late setting up because I needed to find a good place to stop and pause it for a second. But that is essentially what we're going to be getting into. So let me go ahead and do that now. I still haven't fixed my gaming position, so I'll need to take care of that while that all gets underway here. So let's go ahead and swap on over and let's continue the adventure. Yeah, it's still just a little bit off there, so that's pretty good. Okay. And I know it's been a while. We're gonna be a little cozy today and get the blanket back up. That was very, very much made by Sinbad Stardust. So if you do have a chance, whoops, didn't mean to do that. Let me go ahead and lock my movement again so that doesn't happen. But yeah, I mean, Sinbad Stardust, they price their things incredibly well, and it's just the product. I mean, what can I say? It looks amazing. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's get back into Rogue. Like I said, I've been playing a lot off stream. We're in Zone 5. I believe this is I think I'm on a A rank run. So we'll see how things go. I have beaten B rank before, and things are going to get a little crazy in combat. I think you'll see. But yeah, essentially this, like, it's like a mess. And my yesterday I noticed my PC, you'll probably see some like stuttering and stuff. My PC is pretty good, but just because of all the effects on screen, it's yeah, it's getting pretty crazy. Just a lot happening all the time. Like, enemies are barely appearing anymore, because they're just straight up dying. You can kind of see them a little bit, but for the most part, a a lot of them just kind of get off-screened, and it's just insanity like this. Just effects everywhere, me throwing out like everything, and it's a bit chaotic. Not unwelcome chaos, of course, but you know, chaos nonetheless. Because I think even when I get into situations like these, with the right setup of enemies and the right attacks and whatnot, I still die. So it's pretty out there. It's pretty out there. I mean, I love it, but whew, you know, it can get pretty crazy. It can get pretty crazy. So I don't know. I'm hoping things don't get too bad during this run. Like I said, I'm on the 5th area, and it showed area 5 out of 5, even though I could have sworn I chose an A rank. Maybe I chose B again, but I've already beaten the B rank, so I don't know why. I don't know why A wouldn't give me another place to go to. I don't know. I have no idea. I do apologize. You know, like if these effects are like too heavy, if it gives you motion sickness, that type of thing. I've never had that issue. I also don't have issues with like epilepsy. Like I have had seizures before, but they've never been induced by like strobing effects and stuff like that. So yeah, just sorry if that's a thing. Again, many apologies in advance. Okay, it is having a little bit of a trouble loading in here. It says not to take any damage, and I have to survive for like a minute and almost 2 minutes. So as boring as it is, I'm just going to sit here and just not tempt fate, you know? Because stuff's dying easy enough, and this way I can keep sort of the kind of bloom effects to more of a minimum. It's still a lot, but at the same time, not too horrible. And just hoping for the best. I mean, the only enemies that you can see are the ones that I'm converting or summoning through my necromancy skill thing. So yeah, we're just gonna sit here. EXP is building slowly. I think this is around the highest level I've been before. 250 something. So I don't know. I mean, on one hand, it's like hilarious, and on another hand, it's just like, well, what the fuck, you know? But yeah, for the most part, it's been pretty good. As far as like what's going on, catching up. Oh wow. Okay. Catching up on like life things. Oh god. I couldn't even read that. There's so much text. You know, we're in the process of looking for a house. That is going not super great. It's not really going super great for anyone in America, to be honest. But you know, we're doing our best. We're trying. I may or may not be out of a job soon. So that's not great. But yeah, they're kind of trying to implement this thing at work where they're trying to make it so that everyone needs to come back to the office as opposed to like continue to work hybrid or from home. So yeah, you know, it's very archaic, and I'm not on the list this month, but there's no guarantee that I won't be on it, you know, sooner rather than later. So there's that. I certainly hope not. I mean, my boss said that he's going to fight tooth and nail to make sure that they can accommodate me for as long as possible. But I mean, there's only so much that they can do, you know. He gave me a heads up and then was just like, hey, you know, hang in there, do your best, continue to do good work, and we'll do what we can. But you know, at some point, they're really not going to be able to save me. So I kind of get that. Hey, hero, how's it going? Hope you're having a good day. Do you have to work today? You have day off? But yeah, it's always a harrowing time to kind of be alive in America. If it's not one thing, it's another, you know. There's always something going down, and it always kind of feels bad because people are out here just trying to survive and live their best life, and you know, it's just becoming more difficult over time. You have to work. I gotcha. Are you pulling another Clopen, or just a regular day today? But yeah, I mean, it's brutal out there, you know. I just want to like live my life, and like for the most part, like kind of be left alone, you know what I mean? Yesterday I had to do a few extra hours. I gotcha. I was trying to get some overtime today, but it wasn't approved, so here I am. Extra hours though, that's always good when you can get them. Now granted, I feel like we shouldn't have to work extra in general, and I mean, honestly, we just shouldn't have to work at all, you know? Like, so much is becoming automated and everything, and it's just kind of like sort of a matter of time, depending on like what part of the sector you're working in, that you're just not going to have like a job realistically like in the future, which kind of sucks. And then so many jobs at the bare minimum require like a baseline of experience, which is ridiculous for entry-level jobs. And the fact that you have to like have like, you know, some sort of degree, and it's too much. There's a reason why I put hero in my username. Fair enough. I gotcha. But hey, good on you, you know? I mean, do what you can. It's just, it's scary out there, you know? It's like, I don't want to say it's every man or person for themselves, because that's kind of what it feels like sometimes, but it's just really hard, and I just wish it didn't have to be that way, you know? You shouldn't have to work like basically your entire life just to have like the last like sixth of your life be like rest and relaxation. I mean, granted, at that point you've like earned it more or less, but it still sucks, you know? You should be able to enjoy the fullness of your life and not just a part of it. And I think that is just a sentiment that just doesn't exist anymore. It's hard to really come to enjoy those kinds of things and be a part of, I don't know, not necessarily something greater, but you know, not being tied to like a company or a place that you don't like just because you need to do it to survive, I guess. Because I was supposed to leave at 6, but they only had one person closing, and I couldn't leave them to clean the whole mess. I got you. That's awfully kind of you, hero. I mean, you know, it's very noble of you to do that. Very unselfish, for the most part. I mean, you could still do things like that for selfish reasons, like, you know, extra pay and stuff like that, but it's good not to leave your fellow man stranded. You know, even if there is no actual like return investment on that. It's still good to be that better part of humanity, you know? Like be the change that you want to see, right? So I think that's always super important, and that's something that's really cool that you can do as a person for another. It's admirable. Very much so, very much so. But yeah. Are you already there? Are you at work? Are you on a break? Are you heading in? Like that type of thing? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm going to do today, you know, honestly, after I stream. I just, I don't know. Yeah, I feel that. Oh, okay. Great. Yeah, I feel you on that, though. I feel you on that. It's tough. Oh, God. Getting, like, frame skips. I'm just gonna sit right here and let things happen. I should be safe enough for the next 2.5 minutes. But yeah, very, very kind of you, Hero. Very kind. I hope, aside from work and whatnot, that life has been good for you. You know. I hope that life has been good. Otherwise, or at the very least, more stable. You know. Having stability is important. I think a lot of people don't get to enjoy those things so much these days. It's very I don't know. The world's going to shit. This year's an election year. What a time to be alive, you know? What a time. I don't know, I'm just exhausted. You know? I don't want to feel like that all the time, but I just am, and I just don't want to hurt. I don't want to hurt anymore. I'm so tired. I just want to be able to enjoy the things that I do. But the universe just doesn't want to let me do that. The universe is very opposed to just giving me a break. You know, last week it was like a bunch of trials and tribulations. Like, my cat was sick for a little bit, so we had to do an emergency trip to the vet. Same day I got a flat tire, and yeah, it's just, you know, prior to that we got affected by the hurricane. Granted, for us it wasn't too bad, but we lost power for 2 days. And then the week before that I was sick and I had to call off of work. And yeah, it's just it's just been that kind of month, you know. And now we're going into the winter season, which I do love winter, but it's always like cold season, people getting sick all the time, people coming to work and being sick. So I don't know how much I'm looking forward to that, you know. That, like, this season, despite being one of my favorites, also worries the ever living shit out of me, because I don't need to be sick, you know. I don't want that. But there's only so much of that I can control, because I'm well, you know, we live in a society, so yeah, it's just rough. Just rough. Just rough. So I don't know. I don't know. Just have to hope for the best, I guess. Just have to hope for the best. Ooh. Oh, I did get that, huh? All right. All right. Okay, so this boss might kick my ass. It depends. We'll see though. This boss has an interesting mechanic, and I may get just totally fucked. Here we go. Yep. Here we go. Okay. Oh, good. We won. Whew. Yeah, that is never great. Okay, so... Okay, it was a B rank world. Damn. I really thought we chose A. Alright. Well, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so C is done. I don't know what hypercrit is, but we got that. Maximum crit chance. Damn, that's gonna cost 10 million next time. Damn. God damn. We don't have enough for scaling their critical chance. Yes. Okay. And let's do base power. I don't think there's anything else we can do. Yeah, that's it. Okay. All right. Well. So. Oh. B rank is the highest rank right now? So I don't have A rank. Interesting. Okay. Well, darn. Well, hold on. Let me try to do a survivors mode. Let me check a couple of things. Okay, nothing about that needs to change. I think level 4 is the highest level for that, so Shuriken's already 4. Let's do crossbow. Okay, so these are already synchronized particles, lunar inferno. Oh. Wow. Man, I don't even know. 275%. Let's try lunar inferno with that. And do we want to level up anything else, I wonder? A desynchronized heart, synchronized particles. It's all anachronistic stuff. Let's do desynchronized heart. And let's do a survivor mode. See if we can, because I think I did an F rank for survivors, so let's do an E rank. Well, hold on. Why? Before I only had an F rank, and now it's doing a C. Let's do an E, because I haven't done E. I've only done an F rank before, so. We'll just have to hope for the best. Yep. I don't know, we'll see. I just want things to work out for the better, you know? Not just for me, but for everyone. We're more or less living in a lot of unprecedented times, and I don't know. I want to be hopeful for the future, you know? I don't want to be that old man that's screaming at the clouds, even though that's kind of what I've become already. Harkening back to the good old days, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. Just not having certainty is always kind of a scary thing. Not that you can be certain about a lot of things that happen in life. Things just kind of happen, and kind of have to hope for the best, and you know, do the best that you can at the same time. But yeah, you know. We'll see. All hope is not lost yet. Not yet. I don't know. Woo. But yeah, you know, hopefully otherwise, having a good Monday. Don't become a nihilist like me. If that's anything to go off of, you know. Man, I don't even know, you know, thinking about just like the things happening today. We're supposed to be supposedly hearing back from one of the banks or credit unions that we're working with, so you know, hoping for good news, hopefully. Because our lease is actually up in a couple of months, so you know, while renting an apartment has been decent, you know, we haven't really had any issues here. it's not really doing anything for us in terms of like building equity. So, you know, it's nice to have a roof over our head, but with the amount that rent is going up every year, it's just kind of unrealistic to stay. You know, because then we're committing to a lot, and it's probably gonna hurt us in the end. And it's gonna hit us pretty hard. I mean, it already is. We're kind of barely making it, but we're making it. Yeah, it's just difficult, you know. I'm sure not just for us in America. You know, I would imagine a lot of people are struggling, even in other, you know, supposed first world countries and that type of thing. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess a part of me is always like, things will be okay, but like, we say that, and then when it seems like we finally catch up and we're finally able to get something going, like something inevitably like gets in our way and like fucks us over, you know? And it's not like one thing, it's like a bunch of things all happening at once, like coincidentally. And it's just been that way for like the last, you know, 2 years, that type of deal. It's been really hard, you know, like I'm stressed out, partner's stressed out. I just don't, I don't know. I just want to feel like we're doing something that's like we're going on this journey for a reason, you know, like a good reason. Like we're not just suffering because the government sucks or, you know, what have you, right? I mean, the ultimate thing for me would be being able to make like a decent living streaming, but I know that's something you have to work hard at. It's something you have to kind of get pretty lucky with. So I stream because I want to, knowing that may always remain a dream. As far as like a job that that would be ideal for me, given the fact that I also suffer from chronic lower back pain. I had an injury a long time ago as a result of a lot of physical labor, and now, even though there are other things that are affecting my health, you know, like I'm pre-diabetic and I have high blood pressure and stuff like that. I don't have cancer, thankfully, even though it does run on both sides of my family. But there's just a whole lot that's preventing me from holding a regular job. Like if I lose this job, I can't, like, I am just unable to do a job that requires me to be on my feet all day. Because like right now, sort of the maximum amount of time that I could probably be on my feet, whether it's like standing still or walking around without needing to sit, because things like my injuries catching up to me, is maybe 10 minutes. And then after that, like if I don't find a place to sit, then I risk sort of being out of commission. And at least as far as like being able to like even attempt to do regular normal stuff. Yeah, I end up being out of commission for like a while, and it's not great. Doesn't feel good. It already kind of feels like I'm not contributing enough to the household in terms of like work, and it stresses me the fuck out all the time because I should be doing more and I want to do more, and watching my partner kind of have to take on the brunt of the work even though they're okay with doing that, I hate seeing them in pain. Like they're sacrificing a lot too, and I don't like that I'm contributing to continuous health issues and stuff, even though it's pretty much out of my control. Just hurts, and it's something that stresses me out every day. If we can get some kind of like get our housing situation fixed, or attended to more so, then that's gonna do a lot for both of our mental health states, and then it puts a lot of stress off of us, and then we can kind of move forward with a lot of other things. But until then, we kind of, there isn't really a whole lot that we can do aside from like endure, and we've been enduring for a long time, and it's really, really, really hard to endure. Like it's really hard to endure. And I don't know, there's just been so many times that I've kind of reached my breaking point, and I'm like, I don't know, like, I don't know if I can continue to just be stressed out and just be I don't know, just be who I need to be so that we can keep things going, like I'm not gonna give up, but there are times where it feels like I want to, and that's not a good feeling, I feel like I'm not asking for a lot, out of life. Like, I just want to be a regular dude, and I'm happy to be a regular guy. I've never stood out in a crowd, and I don't want to. That's not who I am as an individual. I'm happy to make friends, but I also don't enjoy sort of being forced into social situations, if that makes sense. Like, my social battery is very low as an introvert, and it takes a lot out of me to be normal. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. But for whatever reason, I've just never, and this isn't like a humble brag or anything like that. I don't think this like for someone like me, this is actually kind of a nightmare. But like I've never had issues making friends. I don't know why. This is something that my parents have observed too. For some strange reason, I just exist, and people are like, "Hey, you seem cool. I want to hang out with you." And I'm like, I haven't said anything to you yet. Like I haven't done literally anything. All I am doing is I exist in a space, and for some reason, that's enough for people to want to be around me, and I'm thankful. Don't get me wrong, but I'm also like, but why? You know, like, why me? You know, what sets me aside from everyone else? You know, you could have chosen anybody, but for some reason you chose me, and I don't understand why you did. I don't get it. I don't understand. It's always kind of weirded me out. So like I said, it's not that I'm not thankful for it. Of course I am, but I don't know. Handling social pressure isn't something I do very well. You know, I hang in there as much as I can on the outside, but on the inside, I'm like screaming to like I feel like I want to. I don't even know what the best way to describe it is, but it's like I want to hide. Like I want to jump into like a hole and like not come back out. And well, not enough damage mitigation. And so like that's just how I felt, I guess, for my entire life. And it's just difficult, you know? I don't know. Maybe I'm making it out to be way more than what it is. Maybe I'm just overthinking things, because that's what I do. It's what I'm good at. But yeah, you know, I'm just that really awkward, kid. I've always tried to be the best version of me that I could, but on the best days, it's like it's hard for me to be that guy that people need me to be, or rather what people want me to be, what they expect of me. But I still try, and I'm thankful that people are continuously willing to give me a chance, because I don't feel like at the end of the day I deserve that kind of kindness and understanding. For me, just existing is extremely difficult. So I don't know. I'm not even sure where I'm going with that story. It's just hopefully one day I can have more confidence in myself, I guess. It's kind of what I'm hoping for. But we'll see. We shall see. at the end of the day, if I survive and I make it, and my partner is doing good, and my friends and family are doing pretty good, then I think that's a victory in itself, probably. I don't know. I'd say I'm a realist, but maybe I'm just an asshole. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Not sure, man. Not sure. Just searching for that happiness, you know? I know. Kind of got lost in thought there. Sorry about that. I don't know. Let's kind of switch up gears a little bit so that we can stop being depresso espresso today. You know, generally speaking, if we kind of ignore what we just talked about, life has actually been pretty all right. You know, even though I have that enduring injury, managing to keep going and even sort of improving a little bit. You know, for me, being able to stand or even walk for 10 minutes at a time is sort of like the dream. From like when I was first injured. The fact that I can do that now is amazing. It's just kind of unfortunate that it took sort of like years to get there, and it's going to be a lot more until I get back to a sense of normalcy. You know, because that's just one of those things that you always took for granted when you didn't have the injury, and now I see people standing and walking all the time, and I'm like, man, I remember when I used to wait in line at like theme parks, and I used to be able to go grocery shopping without having to sit down, and now I can't really do that, you know, and it feels pretty bad. But we're getting back to a good place. And so for that, I am eternally grateful. We're getting there. We're getting there. It might be through sheer force of will. I am a pretty stubborn person. I'm also a very lazy person, so that kind of makes and doesn't make sense at the same time. But we're enduring, and we're doing our best. We're doing our best. And sometimes that's all you need. Hopefully it is enough. All right. Oh gosh. Okay, well, that should be enough, right? Yeah. I'm trying to remember what the last movie we saw was as well. What was the last movie that we saw? It was weird is the fact that it was just like a couple of days ago. Oh, it was Venom. Duh. Yeah, we saw the new Venom. It was pretty alright. It's pretty alright. I would say out of the three films of the trilogy, that was definitely like the weakest one. It wasn't terrible. It just wasn't great. And that kind of seems par for the course with a lot of things that are happening in Hollywood, or not even Hollywood, but Okay. Oh, another one. Okay. Oh. Okay. It's one of the ones that we unlocked the other time, so why not? Man, this one about the gold really isn't too difficult. Probably, though, because of... I don't know. I mean, I had like a thought in my brain, and then it just kind of like evaporated. If that makes sense. So, yeah. Not sure what happened there. Not sure what happened there, but... Oh. Ooh. Okay. Alright. It's a good thing we had that on deck. Jesus. All right, man. Well, thanks for stopping by. You take care as well, okay? Try to have a good work day. I don't know. I'm just trying to refocus and like lock it in. So, but thanks for stopping by as always. It's always great seeing familiar faces. So, have a great one. And then I do have a YouTube channel, so I post VODs there once the stream is done. It's usually up after a couple of hours, so if you want to catch up on anything, because I know since I'm currently not an affiliate or partnered with Twitch, I believe my VODs are destroyed after like a week. But yeah, thank you. I will try to have a great day as well. I will try. I will do my best. Because that's all we can do. Let us see. Oh, I ran out of money. Well, let's go then. Whew, man. You know, I think after stream today, we're probably going to be catching up on some animes. I believe Arifueta is out today. And I think I need to catch up on an episode of Danmachi. And I think there was another one. I'm not too sure. I don't know. There's a couple of things that I need to watch or catch up on. I don't think we're going out to a movie today. So I'll have plenty of time to do that. And it's kind of weird, because this is very much like a first world problem. But I like listening to like YouTube and stuff. I always have it on sort of like in the background while I'm doing stuff, whether it's uploading or I'm playing like a game or something like that off stream. But I've been running out of things to watch. I don't mean that in like sort of like, oh, I've like watched everything that I wanted to watch. It's like it's not that at all. It's the fact that there's so much that I often find myself in like going through choice paralysis. And so that always kind of cripples me when I'm trying to get that shit kind of figured out, and it feels pretty bad. Because I even get to like the middle of some videos and I'm like, I'm not feeling it, you know, and then I just like kind of stop watching midway through, and that really sucks because that doesn't do anything good for, you know, the channel's overall like stats as far as like the algorithm and whatnot. So I don't know. I just have to do better, I guess. I just need to find something and stick with it, and then just be like, all right, you know, you're not moving on from this video until you finish it, and then only then can you you know, kind of go on to change things up. I know, you know, you can choose whatever, what have you, but you know, at the same time, you should commit, right? Because it's what you would want people to do for you if they stumbled upon your channel. Also, there's a lot of like weird shit happening with Twitch. You know, they continuously find themselves in controversy after controversy, and it feels like this place isn't like super safe, especially for VTubers. Not necessarily myself, but a lot of female VTubers kind of find themselves being caught in the crosshairs of a lot of content policies as far as like, you know, what's allowed, what isn't. It just kind of feels awful that Twitch TOS isn't enforced fairly and evenly. It's always just some weird bullshit that happens, and then you'll see a VTuber get completely like fucked over by like a certain thing. Like I know the recent guideline changes have made it so that you can't show hips for some reason, even though you're a fake avatar. You're like an anime character. For some reason, that doesn't affect you when you're in VR chat, and for whatever reason, it doesn't affect you if you were like a flesh tuber. Which I'm just like, what? Like, what do you mean? Why are you like scrutinizing VTubers harder than regular people? Like, regular people are actually doing more damage to the brand because you have all these people that, don't get me wrong, like, you know, secure that bag for yourself and whatnot. You know, I don't necessarily have a problem with that, but you know, you're just being allowed to circumvent so many rules, and then like a VTuber does something that's like super innocuous, and Twitch is like, oh, sorry, we don't like you, you're banned. And it's like someone that is not a VTuber, that's just like a regular flesh tuber, you know, or well, just a regular streamer, but like they don't get fucked over, VTubers do. And I know a lot of people are like, well, you know, like rules are the rules, and I'm like, yes, like I don't have a problem necessarily with the rules themselves, but what I do have a problem with is that because it's not enforced evenly, and almost to the point where Twitch moderation has some level of accountability and responsibility that they're just not putting themselves in a position to be as unbiased as you can. Because I know that's asking someone to be unbiased is hard. Everyone has some kind of inherent bias when it comes to certain things, and I get that, I understand that, but it still sucks to see the fact that people can't be impartial, especially when it comes to VTubers. For whatever reason, when you're a real person, you can flash your ass, your tits, your other unmentionables. Like, there are flesh tubers that get, well, it's not even that they get caught, they're purposefully doing this, but they commit sexual acts on stream, and yeah, they get banned, but they get banned for like, it says the ban is for like a week, and then they get unbanned in like a day, maybe even a couple of days, and it's like, yo, like, what the fuck is that? You know, like, how is that fair? And meanwhile, like, a VTuber shows a little bit of like hip, right, and then they get banned for a week, a month. Sometimes appeals happen and it gets like turned over, but it's kind of rare that happens. You know, VTubers just get fucked for some reason, and it doesn't make sense why. I mean, obviously everything is speculation, but there's probably someone that's a part of the moderation team, maybe on the trust and safety console or what have you. You know, it happens. Like I said, I'm not unaware that people don't have biases. I'm very aware that people have biases, but it's disproportional to, in terms of like fairness, right? Like, I would understand if maybe like the whole thing with VTubers was more like 60-40 in terms of bans or something like that, but yeah, it's just very much not like that. Like, it's just VTubers get destroyed for some reason, and it just doesn't make sense. You know, it's always like, make it make sense. Why Why is it that VTubers get fucked? You know, that doesn't seem very fair. And then don't get me wrong, of course, there's always the people that are like, well, you know, it is part of the TOS, this and that, whatever. And I understand where you're coming from. You're not technically wrong. You are right. But you also need to recognize that it's unfair that VTubers get completely destroyed for something like this. Whereas, like, someone that just, for whatever reason, is a real person that can cause actual real damage in real life because of the situations that they put people in, or, well, more like because Twitch allows it. You know, it's kind of like, well, what the hell, man? Like, you know, why are these people allowed to get away with it? Is it because certain people are paid in a certain way, or, you know, like, is there some kind of corruption going on? You know, what is actually happening? I want to know. I want to know why you hate us so much. But I don't know. Always feels bad. Always feels bad. Just want things to be fair and balanced. Boop-boo. Oh God. Okay, why not? We haven't gotten that before. Wow. Okay. Jeez. That's a lot of levels all at once, man. It's a lot of levels all at once. I don't know. Don't know. Oh man, and then on top of that, there's like, so I don't know how far into the anime sphere everyone is, but it just recently came out that a voice actor for Crunchyroll actually hasn't been receiving mail and like fan letters that was sent to them to the Crunchyroll office. Apparently the people at Crunchyroll, mainly the management, it seems like, has been passing around stuff that was meant for them, and you know, the employees didn't know. This person was informed of it and then sort of went on, I don't want to say a tirade, but they wanted to make it known that they knew that shit was going down. And Yeah, I don't know. Crunchyroll hasn't officially responded, I don't believe. I believe today has been the first business day since then. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Apparently, they were opening his mail and then distributing all the stuff while throwing away basically everything, which apparently that's a federal crime. That's tampering with someone's mail, and you really cannot be doing that. So I don't know. There might be some crazy legal thing that goes down, and if that's true, then holy shit, you know. Anyway, kind of spaced out there for a second. Sorry about that. I don't know. These days lately, I get sort of like absorbed in thought, and I just kind of like leave this plane of existence for a little bit. So, yeah, again, I'm sorry about that. I've just got a lot on my mind, and I get overwhelmed, and I don't know. I guess I just cope by shutting down my brain for a little bit, and that tends to reset things, you know. Tends to reset things, but I have kind of to shift gears again. I have a lot of plans for my life as a VTuber, even assuming that I don't find the level of success that I want. There are still a lot of things that I want to accomplish and do as a VTuber. So I'm hoping for good things, and I don't know, just wanting to find a place that I can be comfortable, you know? I think that's extremely important. Finding a level of comfort, finding a place where you can just kind of be yourself, find a relative level of happiness and satisfaction, accomplishing certain things is definitely, you know, I do have ambitions, but I don't know. I may have to just try and do my best to will them into existence, as it were. We'll see. Who knows? Oh man. Ooh, sandworm. You know, who knows? Maybe I'll be one of those stories. It's like this. Look at this kid from the island of Hawaii that picked himself up by his bootstraps and did something with their life, you know. Maybe that will be something, a legacy to live on and endure. But I guess we'll find out. I guess we will find out. Hell, I'd settle for even doing like part-time work and then being able to dedicate more time to streams, you know? And of course, finding that comfort level of success, of course, when and, you know, hopefully if I do, where I can afford to do that so that, you know, I can continue my work on here, having a good time, enjoying life, and I don't know, just it would be a quality of life improvement, you know, if I can do that. Because I'm not even looking for like the level of success of my my Oshi. And I don't know if I've mentioned it before on here. I know you can have more than one, but my main Oshi right now is Cinder, and I think she is amazing, and she's really funny, and she has her insecurities, of course, but she has found a level of confidence and joy and just a level of comfort that is extremely admirable, where she can just find that level of success and be good, you know, and be great with all of that. So I don't know. And I don't know, I would hope that I can meet her someday in some capacity. Not necessarily like a collab or anything like that, but just being able to talk to her, even if it's only for like a minute, and just be like, you inspired me to start and to keep going and to be a better version of me and find like a level of confidence that I need to keep pushing through. And so I just want to thank her for that. But I don't know if that's ever going to happen, and if it doesn't, that is okay. But yeah, I don't need to find necessarily like that level of success. Like I would be happy finding like maybe even like a quarter of that, you know? Like a fraction of whatever it is that she has. 'Cause I don't remember what her CCV usually ends up being. I believe right now it usually holds at around 2,000 to 3,000, I would say. So, you know, if we go with sort of a quarter of that, like under 1,000, just maybe like 500, 600, that type of deal. I don't know, maybe that's asking for too much as well. But something like that, I think I would be really happy with, you know? Yeah, something like that. But I don't know if in asking for that, I'm asking for too much. I feel like I'm not, but at the same time, it's not like this is something that I deserve. It's just something that I want and something that I want to work towards. And so that's what I'm gonna do. And that's the game plan. And yeah, you know, from there we're gonna hopefully continue to kick ass and take names. Yeah, it's kind of like that Duke. Well, it's not really a Duke Nukem quote. I know he's associated with it, but it's from a movie, and I don't remember what the name of the movie is right now. But it's like, I'm here to kick ass and either take names or chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum, like that type of thing. So, you know, we'll see how things go. We'll see how things go. A lot of it is mental. A lot of it is in the mind. So we just have to endure and do our best to make it. We'll see. We'll see. But right now I'm at the level where I'm just beginning, and so it's an uphill battle. But it's an uphill battle that I'm happy to walk. Happy to fight. It hasn't broken me yet. It hasn't broken me yet. But yeah, there's just there's so many of us now. I mean, the VTubing sphere really sort of like kicked off. I mean, obviously at the height of the pandemic, and it's just kind of been like this train that hasn't really stopped since. It's definitely I think the best days are yet to come, but I think the market is also pretty oversaturated as well. So it's hard to break out and find some level of like uniqueness among your peers. But I think it's still possible to do and accomplish things, even if you have to do it at like maybe a bit of a slower pace, you know? Something like that. All right, this is the super multiplier. But apparently they're dead. Oh man. Staff of Storms, of course. Crown. Boiling Blood. Sure, why not? Oh man, that was really quick. Oh boy. Absolute Focus, of course. Chest. Ooh, yes, we haven't had that one before. I am looking forward to that. Okay, okay. Let's do that. Dash, skin, wisp. Sure. Yep. sure. Okay. Heal. Divine Smite. Okay. Dash. Blood. That's pretty good. Mystery Tile. Let's invest 20k. I don't know what the maximum for that is yet. Let's go with the staff. Revolution. But yeah. I also eventually want to collab with people. I think that would be a lot of fun. It would be nice for me to get out of my comfort zone as an introvert. And then just kind of be more, me. Hopefully make more friends and just trying to have a good time, just trying to have a good time. I like how that statue just had like a giant rock growing out of it, The fun of procedural generation. Ooh. Okay, this one is the Necromancer, I think. Excuse me. Okay, okay, there it is. Come on now. There we go. Yep. Ooh, okay. This should be over pretty quick, I would think. I don't know. I mean, this is a pretty exciting game for one that's in early access. I do hope when the eventually like 1.0 is released that people go out and buy this, because it's a really, really, really fun game and experience. So okay, let's do that. Storms, of course. Cursed Belt. I'll take that instead. Divine Smite. Purifying Fire. Ooh, Volcanic Fury, I'll take that. Excuse me. Let's do that. Yep. Let's do another mystery tile. Very cool. All right. Ooh, okay. Nice. Fire. Necromancy, let's go. Excuse me again. Fire. All right. You know what I want? I want to take a nap. Man. I feel like I don't get a whole lot of sleep these days. Like I get maybe like 6 hours on average, 7 if I'm lucky. I'm like super tired though. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe after stream is done, I'll take a nap. Well, after lunch. We shall see. We shall see. Oh wow, this is gonna be done quickly. Yep. Crazy. Looks like we just have to kill stuff today. Because I believe I got items that took out other optional conditions, so... I mean, that works for me. I'm not going to complain about that. Sure, why not? Storms, let's go. Oh, this is going to be done way before the optional time. Sure. Void Wisp, and why not? Let's do an elite tile. Oh, wow. Yes. Yep. More of that, please. 20K. Ooh. Excuse me. Oh, this is going to be over quick. Good lord. Whew. Oh man. Let's kindle the fire. Got some extra health, which is good. Oh yes, Phoenix Totem. We need that just in case we bite it. Do I have enough to limit break? Okay. Fuma. Necromancy. Ooh, let's do that. All right. This one could fuck us. So let's hope not. Sure. Steel. I don't know. Okay, that works. Just wait here for a bit. Oh, did I get? Yeah, I did. Okay. Oh, here we go. Oh God. What is going on? Okay. Alright. That was a bit crazy there. Nice. Let's do that. Sure. Alright. Off to the manor. Final level. Hopefully a lot of these are just kill X amount of monsters, and then that's it. Oh God. Look at all that slowdown. Oh man. My PC must be fighting for its life right now. There we go. All right. So far, so good. Ooh, statue. All right. Excuse me. Fuma's fully updated. Let's see what we get here. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. Queen's blood. Oh God, what is going on? Okay. Jeez. Man, I'm just like walking around and just like gaining a level every couple of seconds. It's crazy. There we go. Okay. Ice Nova. Me likey. Thankfully, a lot of these requirements haven't been too bad. So... But, my God, man. Yeah. Lens, I guess. What do we got? Yep. Okay. Ooh. That's good. Ooh, okay. Excuse me again. This should be pretty quick, given that we only have to kill things. Yeah. Oops. Sorry. Might have hit my mic there. Do apologize. Yeah, let's be a bad guy. We are corrupted after all. Oh, okay. Oh God, what is even happening? Well, that was a really long hallway there. Crazy. Damn. We're getting a lot of shops here. Yeah, let's not do that. Sure. Yeah, why not? Why not, right? Ooh. Haven't had this one before. A reflect of shamanic power, a reflect of burning sand, a reflect of death, a reflect of blazing zone. I wonder if this is going to give us, like, some kind of buff or debuff for an item from one of the previous areas, maybe. Let's go with shamanic power. You hear the birds chirping and an increasing chorus of forest sounds before you realize that you find yourself in the heart of the forest face to face with a powerful foe, the goblin shaman. Okay, so it's like another boss fight. Neat. Ooh, look at that life, though. Alright. So that's another dead shaman. Hopefully that gets us something. It's interesting that they have us do a boss fight. That's pretty cool. I wouldn't have expected that, so... Oh. Well, that's gonna be done soon. Yep, just like that. Crazy. Oh, there's another one of those ones that's gonna be it's gonna be over before you know it, you know? Sure. And just like that. Too funny. Let's do that. And then more points into that. Wind Ring, of course. Rune of Luck. Sure, we do have gold. Perfect. Sure. Definitely want that. Let's re-roll the shop. Boots. Pressure. Reroll one more time. Yeah. Okay. Boss time. Let's see if we got what it takes this time. Nope. Okay. All right. All right. Oh, got something for finishing within a certain amount of time. Damn. Okay. Okay. Ooh, that's nice. All right. Let's see what we can buy in the shop. 1.61 million. That's not really a whole lot. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Shop. Okay, let's get critical chance up. Inventory page, I guess. Experience multiplier. Yeah, I mean, that seems pretty good. Oh, we need 10 million for that. Figures. Defense shredding, yeah. Okay, is there anything else that I want to buy right now? That's not just kind of a... Oh, we can do one more for the experience multiplier on overkill. Perfect. Okay. So not too bad. Let me go ahead and exit out of here so that I can set up for Persona. But in the meantime, let me go ahead and take a quick break. So I will be right back. Alrighty. That was nice. We are back. Let's get back over to the game setup. One of these days, I'm going to actually fix it so that's set up in the right place. In fact, let me do that right now because I'm here. Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's lock that again, and then okay. So for gaming, chord position, that's fine. Okay, so that should be pretty good. From there, let's lock back in for Persona. And let me make sure I have the right thing going. It should be this one and not that one. Oh god. Why does it show my model there? Oh, for some reason this one's showing as Kill Knight. It's strange. Okay, there we go.
The true artist, so let's get together, see what we can uncover. What that defies your world, gives you truth and life. What that excels, special enough to guide your way through this shadow world.
Ooh. Sorry about that. I was trying to have a quick snack while the intro played. I don't even remember what we were doing, to be honest. I know that we were in Yukiko's dungeon, and I think we just got out. Oh yeah, everyone's pretty beat up. But I had one of those things where I don't know how I was watching a Moist Critical video a while ago, and I had eaten too fast, so I had gotten hiccups. And apparently hiccups are like a leftover evolutionary thing from when like we had gills. And apparently the way to get rid of that is if you have the hiccups, you just tell yourself that you don't have the hiccups and that you're also not a fish. And like they just go away. And it works. This is crazy. So yeah, it worked. I don't know if I have these recorded yet, so... Oh, this is interesting. Okay. Cool. Oh. I should probably change the category. There we go. Oh, yeah, let's just register all of them. Yes. Perfect. Wow. I guess we have to get into a certain certain level with our social links first. Yes. Oh, shoot. I forgot that was on. I'm so sorry, Nanako. Dojima isn't here. Oh, neat. Okay. I like that there's the Persona 3 there. That's a nice little thing. Showa Day. Oof, okay. Yeah, I guess we wouldn't be able to do anything on nights that we don't, or on nights that we go and do stuff, so. What the fuck? We were luchadors?
もしもし、不意にお呼び止めしてすみません。果実、ベルベットルームにてお会いしましたマーガレットでございます。
I do remember.
一つ大切な忠告を忘れておりましたので、お耳に入れようと思いまして。ご友人を救いに向かわれることは崇高な行い。私たちもぜひ後押ししたいと存じます。ですがそれは取りも直さず戦いに次ぐ戦い。時を争い、ただ戦いだけに邁進しても、それで人が真に満たされることはないでしょう。コミュニティのもたらす絆もまた、ペルソナの力を高める大きな源。どうか日々を無意に急がず、あなたの信じる歩調を大切になさいますよう。お忘れなきように。それでは失礼いたします。
All right. Oh, these guys. Right. Okay. She did briefly check that out last time. Oh, and there's that guy that had like the trivia the other day that I like fucked up. I wonder if I'm gonna screw it up again. Red is group A, gray is group B. Which one did I choose last time? I want to say I chose A. Let's try B this time. I may just be screwing this up again. I think last time I said there were car colors. Let's go with flag. Oh, no, so it was car. Okay. Faculty. Here we go. Soccer, basketball. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Okay. Sewing, home ec, storage, science, meeting. Damn, did I go to the wrong place? I might have. Biology, art, English, workshop, sociology, yeah. Music. Let's take a tour first. Okay. I don't know which one I usually join in the regular version of Persona 4. Let's do... Let's do basketball. Excuse me. Oh shit. Whoops.
あ、俺一条こう。あー、だりー。お。永瀬大輔だ。よろしく。
I believe a lot of the sports and cultural stuff are all tied to kind of the same thing. I'm pretty sure with these two, it is like one persona type, I think.
Maji?
Which card is this, I wonder? Strength Arcana, okay. That's cool. Be an ass and leave. That's pretty funny. Oh. I don't even think we had that option in Persona 4. Or the original. Sneaking out at night? Kinda curious. Ah, this is different. Oh, okay, so this is another place where I can trade for items. Okay, neat. I'll remember that. Okay. Oh, look who it is.
Yo!
Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah, sure, why not?
Oh,
I'm not sure if that's shooting myself in the foot when I should be studying, but... I'm not sure if that was the best answer.
oh. これお前にやるよ。
Cool.
おやすみ。よ。
Yeah. Uh-oh. I have no idea. I mean, how would you even know that without prior knowledge, right? Like, that's kind of crazy. Two, 3, or 7. I mean, I feel like this is knowledge that you would have if you were like in Japan, but I don't know. 2, 3, or 7. Let's go with 3. Interesting. Hi, Yeza. Appreciate the lurk. Hope you're having a good day. Hope work's been alright. Great. Okay. Swear I'm gonna get this one, right? Hopefully this guy's here today. Okay. Okay. It's B. And then what? Okay, hold on, man. How is this always incorrect? Okay, I chose group B. I choose group A, is that okay? Okay, so no. This is like ridiculous. So choosing group B and both answers is wrong. So far, choosing group A with car colors is wrong. Okay, so we do A. Okay, wow, that's weird. Oh, did I get disconnected from my chat room there for a second? That's weird. Okay, great. Right. Okay, so it's Wednesday. I could talk to Yosuke.
Yo!
Sure, why not?
Oh, sir!
Okay. I do a bunch of cutting and needed my loud music to help drown it out, otherwise I would have been lurking earlier. Now that that's done and I'm cleaned of danger glitter, I'm not sure what to do. I do want to do the big projects that I should next. Well, I mean, you know, it's okay, I understand. But thanks for stopping on by. Appreciate it whenever you can. It does sound like a lot of work, though. People like to yap. Okay, so there was a better answer I could have given last time. Cool. All right. Interesting. I mean, it's always tough, right? If you've got big projects. I don't know. I mean, I would definitely say you should probably do them, but I don't know quite. Hard for me to advise on that.
Yosh, kaeru ka!
All right, all right. Dojima's not here again. I mean, I could sneak out, but should probably study today. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yo!
All right. Oh, right. Yeah, we'll go to basketball practice today. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Mm,
Oh,
お疲れ
they're like physically large, not like super important. They're just something I need to get to soon, since I'm not 100% better yet. I don't want to push myself too hard. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, given the current situation, it's probably okay to put it off a bit more until you're feeling closer to 100%. So, definitely. Excuse me. Oh, there was a better answer for that one. Okay. We're already making good progress here.
じゃ、帰るか。
Cool.
おかえりなさい。
I mean, Dojima's already he's out. I could always save Scum, I guess. All right. I don't have a fishing rod yet, so... Can't do anything at the shrine yet. Ah, okay, it wasn't worth going out. Alright. I guess we could. I don't know. Ah, nothing extra? Lame. Yeah, we probably should go into the television today.
Yoshi.
Okay, so we have a couple of days. Yeah, let's continue from 4-4. Oh, it's this guy. Oh, this guy is like not weak to anything. There we go. I don't know if we're too low leveled right now. We could probably afford to grind one more day and then rescue Yukiko after that. Oh, super late with that one. We versus fire. Then okay.
敵残り3体コマ。
やるぜ減らすなそう倒れね
Did I read the wrong elements?
こいつは小物。
Oh, lightning.
Go back
敵がダウン。いいぞ。先生お見事。調子。
そな
敵がダウン。先生お見事。敵がダウン。
さて
Yeah. Let's see. Uh,
シエちゃんさすが。敵撃破。
よし次だ次
okay. Do we have keys? Got 6 of them.
Shadow.
Oh, come on, man. What the fuck? Okay. Whatever. That's fine. Okay.
敵は2体コマ。やっつける。勝てる相手コマ。
Ice.
勝てる相手コマ。疾風属性。
Wind.
敵残り2体コマ。 すごいぞ先生。ガゴー。先生、ナイスアタック。
Okay. Mm,
やるぜ減らす
いいぞ陽介。ノリノリくだね。いけ。敵がダウン。よし、よかった。
should be able to take this one out. Okay. Ugh.
Level up したぞよ。
Okay. Ugh.
敵は3体コマ。油断禁物ね。火炎が効くコマ。
Fire.
爆笑コマ。
Lightning.
そう倒れね
敵残り3体コマ。 誰かこいつをお願い。
Okay. can't change my persona? Really? Dang.
いいぞ先生。はい、ゴーゴー。
Okay.
誰かこいつを。
敵残り2体コマ。誰かこいつをお願い。すごいね先生。ゴーゴー。よーし、張り切っていこう。これで終わりだ。
Cool. All right. Cool. I do wonder if we're able... No, we're probably not. What the hell is this?
敵は1体コマ。勝てばい。
Okay.
敵は1体ゴーゴー。
決めるぜ。そう、倒らねえ。
いけ。必殺。倒せないか。
Huh.
しぶてえ。ベルトだ。
Damn. What the hell, man? So the only thing that we haven't tried is light and darkness because we don't have that yet. Alright.
必殺。体しぶとい。
That works too.
よし、次だ次。
Alright.
ここにもシャドウか。敵は1体ね。頑張れ。その敵は
Nice. Okay.
誰かこいつを。
敵残り1体コマ。
Can we panic you? Can.
行くよ。止まれ。弱点にヒット。チャンスチャンス。よーし、張り切っていこう。
Not enough.
誰かこいつを。
Nice. Alright.
敵2体の増援クマ。やっつけろ。この敵は電撃属性が弱点クマ。
Alright.
敵は2体。押し切れるクマ。先生、ナイスアタック。
Oh.
さあ OK
陽介が調子に乗ってるクマ。誰かこいつをお願い。
Ah, no physical resist. Let's just be sure.
トナ
Sorry about that. Here. I'll let you out. There you go. Cats, I swear. Yep, okay. Money. Sure. Not bad. Came from that way, I think. Okay. Wind. Got it.
OK マ
Nah.
ジいやいいけどベルトナ
すごいぞ先生。ガゴー。
決めるぜそう倒れね
しーちゃんさすが。敵撃破。
え誰かこいつを
Okay. Oh wow. Okay, good. I think that's the light-based attack, which is what we need. Okay. Man, these guys are lightning. Got it.
誰かこいつを
陽介がペルソナを封じられてるクマ。 敵残り2体クマ。敵がダウン。決めた先生お見事。敵がダウン。
行くぞ OK
陽介
Close
がペ
one.
ルソナを封じられてるクマ。
Damn, do we really not have anything else? That's weird. Alright. Moikane. Yeah, we'll just have to get that one later. Okay, let's hold on. Okay, let's hope for the best. Oh, right. I think this is like the mid-boss. Okay. Oh, whoops. Okay. Okay, not those. Wow. Of course, you won't be able to take it out, but. We haven't tried fire yet. Oh, perfect. No. See if we can make him panic. No. Okay. Damn. Nice. Okay. Nope.
じゃあお願い。弱点にヒット。磯和先生。いけ。やあ。岩だししぶとい。
やるぜペルソ
マジ感謝。すごいぞ先生。カゴー。
Hopefully this takes care of it.
さあ、
Okay.
次に靴跡欲しいのは誰？イエイ！レベルアップ！
Okay. Oh, oops. There we go.
敵がダウン。先生お見事。敵がダウン。先生お見事。
Alright.
いいぞ先生。敵一体撃破クマ。
決めるぜペルソ
敵がダウン。
じゃあオッケー
Let's do it. Cool. Okay. Perfect. Oh, okay, so there are more
早く
floors.
進もうぜ
Alright.
シャドウ発見
Uh-oh.
敵3体。こちらが強い相手じゃない。きっと勝て。
Hmm.
ペルソナは
敵残り3体クマ。
やるぜじゃあ誰かこいつを
いけ。やあ。効いてない。
決めるぜペルソナ
Wow. Okay.
この敵に氷結属性は効かないクマ。
But it uses fire, so I can't imagine that it's going to be weak to fire. It's probably going to absorb fire.
ペルソナ
No, it's going to block it. Okay.
いけ。やあ。 いつをお願い。
Oh, come on, dude. Are you for real?
いいぞ先生。ゴーゴーゴー。はあ。やあ。まだしぶとい。
Oof, that's not good.
やるぜペルソナ。
おお、先生が立った。敵は2体押し切れるクマ。
ペルソナ。はあ悪いな。
いけ。
Oh, come on, man.
陽介が調子に乗ってるク
ペルソナ。は
マ。マジ感謝。はあ。必殺。まだしぶとい。
Okay, good, good.
敵残り1体クマ。
やるぜペルソナ。ペルソナ。
マジ感謝。まだしぶとい。
Oh,
敵2体増援。辛抱クマ。 敵残り2体クマ。
okay, this one was lightning, which we do not have right now. Damn.
やるぜ
Alright.
誰かこいつを。
誰かこいつをお願い。じいちゃん、攻撃力が下げられてるクマ。敵は2体押し切れるクマ。
ペルソナ。
先生の前に敵はないクマ。じいちゃん、攻撃力が下げられてるクマ。
決めるぜ。くそ倒れね
敵は1体ゴーゴー。いけ。必殺。 増援クマ。もう少しだったのに。じいちゃん、攻撃力が下げられてるクマ。
Oh, come on, man. What the fuck?
え。やるぜ。
敵だ花村。かっこいい陽介。勝てない。
Wind? Okay.
敵がダウン。
さあ。
Good. Jeez. All right. Okay. Ugh.
敵2体頑張れクマ。電撃ぞ。この敵は敵残り2体クマ。
Got it.
やるぜ。そう倒れねえ。
陽介、攻撃力が低下してるクマ。敵は2体、押し切れるクマ。イーゴン先生、敵1体撃破クマ。
Again, that's ice.
陽介、攻撃力が低下してるクマ。敵がダウン。オッケー、じゃあお願い。必殺。岩だ、しぶとい。
What's going on? Alright, well, sorry about that. Got a message.
しぶてえ。
Alright. Alrighty. Yep.
おめでとう。
レベルアップだぜ。
I would get attacked right when I open a chest. Crazy. I don't remember how many floors are in this dungeon. I would say up to 10, maybe. Chewing soul's always good. Oh, it's this thing again. Okay, let's see if we can Hama you. I doubt it, but oh, we can. Well, shit. Well, hot damn. Was not expecting that. Good to know, good to know. Things weak to light. We probably just got lucky too, but even so. Oh yeah, we didn't check to see if, no.
こいつをお願い。陽介、攻撃力が低下してるクマ。
Okay, I'm pretty curious.
ベルトナ
Nope.
敵は一体ゴーゴー。勝てる相手。陽介、攻撃力が低下してるクマ。
決めなせい。誰かこいつを。
やだ、しぶとい。敵残り1体クマ。
ベルトナ
Okay.
決めなせい。そう倒らね
陽介、攻撃力が低下してるクマ。やあ、誰かこいつをお願い。
Oh. Ooh.
階段クマ。
Stairs up.
先に進むか。敵2体。今なら申請できるクマ。
え。エンジェン。
いいぞ先生。いいぞ。ガチャシ
Yes. Nope. Okay.
火炎攻撃はダメ。敵は1体。ゴーゴー。
やるぜ。ベルト
敵がダウン。
ナ。いいヘッドだ。だけだけ。
That's pretty lucky. Okay. Not a Taishi.
必殺。やだ、しぶとい。敵は痛い。ゴーゴー。
やるぜペルソ
マジ
That is super annoying. Um,
勝てる相手か。
ペルソナ
oh, damn it.
決めるぜペルソナしぶてえ
Alright, please don't miss. For the love of God.
決めるぜ
Cost HP to use these.
誰かこいつをペルソナ
こんなもんかな。
One of these. Didn't mean to do that. I'm trying to attack this thing.
新宿馬こっちめろく
うわ
勝てる相手クマ頑張れ。 敵残り3体クマ。
決めるぜ誰かこいつを
Damn. Okay.
誰かこいつをお願い。
うわ やるぜペルソナ聞いてねえだよクソ
Okay.
ペルソナ
Damn.
必殺。倒せないか。
うわ誰かこいつを ペルソナ
Unbelievable. My god. And you missed.
そう倒れねえペルソナ
Come on now. Resist. Jesus.
強い相手じゃな。へい。倒せないか。
うわ
あー敵は逃げたクマ。
しぶてえ
敵残り2体クマ。 へい。 食べたくな。
Yep.
朝飯前ってな。
Lovely.
先生大丈夫か？体力が減ってるぞ。
Okay. Great.
敵みたい。頑張れクマ。
Okay.
やるぜ。じゃあ。しぶてえ。
Good. Yep. Okay.
敵残り2体クマ。
ベルトな。
いいぞ先生。いいぞ。ガチョウ。敵がダウン。いいの？いや、いいけど。いや。倒せないか。敵残り1体クマ。
Good. Oh. That's what I missed?
敵1体倒すクマ。
誰かこいつを。
Swear.
敵は1体。ゴーゴー。
レンジャー。
勝利。
Alright, let's head up to the next floor. Whew, I am getting hungry. I think we're gonna explore next floor and then maybe call it a day. Nope, maybe this is the final floor. Still don't have a persona that can do ice.
しぶてえ。
敵残り2体クマ。はあ。やあ。敵ダウン。ちえちゃんさすが。必殺。敵がダウン。よし、オッケー。じゃあお願い。はあ。必殺。ちえちゃんさすが。敵撃破。
しぶてえ。
敵は一体。ゴーゴー。見て。どんなもんや。さすが先生。
Nope.
敵は3体か。油断禁物ね。
決めるぜ。誰かこいつを。
敵は3体。気合で乗り切るクマ。ちえちゃんがやられた。これはピンチ。
ほら。いけんじないや。
偉いぞ陽介。やればできるクマ。
Not
敵
nice.
残り2体クマ。いや誰かこいつをお願い。陽介が調子に乗ってるクマ。
よっしゃ。レベルアップ。
レベルアップしたぞよ。
Cool.
宝箱クマ開けてみてちょ。
Could be useful. Wasn't forward facing
頑張れ
enough.
クマ。
誰かこいつを。
Or back facing enough, rather.
いいぞ先生。敵一体出てるクマ。
Damn. Oh, oops. Nope.
どこ
That was a close one.
へ。敵がダウン。オッケー。じゃあお願い。ややだしぶとい。敵は一体。ゴーゴー。
Nice one. I wish I had more space. Damn it.
敵3体。こちらが先手クマ。
やるぜ。ペルソナ。くそ倒れねえ。
敵は3体。気合で乗り切るクマ。すごいぞ。ちえちゃん無双クマ。ちえちゃんがやられた。これはピンチ。
ほら。やるぜ。ペルソナ。
マジ感謝。敵残り2体クマ。 やあ。倒せないか。
Crying out loud. How can you not hit something that is super vulnerable? What is wrong with you?
敵がダウン。よーし。
right. All right.
ちえちゃん大丈夫？体力が減ってるぞ。
Okay. Ooh. Okay.
誰かこいつを。
先生の前に敵はないくら
What the hell? Weird. Oh, stairs going up.
進むか？
Oh
敵は
shit.
近いくわ。やっつけれ。 勝てる相手くわ。頑張れ。電撃
Wait till
敵は2
lightning.
体押し切れるくわ。
やるぜ。
Good. Okay. Oh. No. Yep. Alright. Okay, so floor 8 is the maximum, so let's use the dungeon escape item. Alright. So, I think we are going to call that here today. Let me just make sure I save again, just in case I screw that up. I have done that in the past, and that's not been that fun. So, But yeah, let's head on back. And you know what? That was actually not too bad today. It was really nice. I had a lot of fun. Got a lot of things done, and not too bad. All considering that I basically improvised these streams just because I don't know when I'm ever going to be able to get this sort of stuff done. But yeah, I don't know. Today was a productive day, I think. Got a lot of things out of the way. Got back into Persona 4. Just continuing the grind with Rogue Genesia. So yeah, it was really nice. I had a good time, and thanks to all that stopped by again, like usual. I appreciate y'all. It's really nice to have you stop by, whether you're actively chatting or you're just lurking. I appreciate it very much. So thank you again for stopping by, and I'll go ahead and let this play out now. The VOD will be up on my YouTube channel probably within like a couple of hours. It all really depends. The upload is fast enough, but sometimes the checks and balances for YouTube takes a while. But it'll definitely be up by tomorrow. So if there are any streams that you miss, they will all be up on my YouTube channel. Right now it is just a VODs channel. Planning to probably eventually hire someone to edit some shorts for me, maybe. I really just don't have the time. I don't know. We'll see. But eventually getting like clips and shorts and stuff up there, that's something I definitely want to do, especially right now because my VODs don't save to the channel for very long on Twitch because I'm not an affiliate, nor am I a partner. So I think they're up for like about a week and then they go away. But yeah, that's going to be it for me today. Like I said, I'm going to let this play out here for a little bit while I get everything sorted. So again, thank you so much for stopping by. Y'all are awesome. And I will see you whenever I see you next. All right. Have a great rest of your day. Okay. Bye-bye.